My name is Braze Gordon McLean, and I will be using the book Program in Low Vision Therapy to help me with my video. I'll be starting at the interior part of the eye, and this will be on the right side of the picture that you're looking at. The lens is a transparent structure behind the iris, or the colored part of the eye. The lens bends light rays so that they can form a clear image at the back of the eye on the retina. The lens is elastic so it can change shape, and getting fatter to focus on close objects and thinner for distant objects. That's called an accommodation, and at some point the ability to change shape and focusing at near decreases, and reading glasses can be prescribed. The cornea is the transparent membrane, which forms the outer coating like in front of the eyeball and covers the iris and pupil. It's actually the only transparent tissue in the body. There are no blood vessels in the cornea, and the nourishment and oxygen are supported by the aqueous and also the tears, and we'll talk about the aqueous in just a second. The cornea also focuses on light. It focuses the light on the retina. The aqueous is a thin, watery fluid in the anterior and posterior chambers of the eye. The anterior chamber lies between the iris and the inner surface of the cornea, or the front of the eye, and the posterior chamber is located behind the iris in front of the lens. The aqueous cleans the lens and supplies nutrients to the cornea, lens, and iris. And one of its purposes is to maintain intraocular pressure of the eye, which is pressure in the eye. The aqueous fluid is constantly being produced and drained out by the trabecular meshwork. Improper drainage of the aqueous can cause an increase in intraocular pressure and would result in a loss of vision, or could contribute to the development of glaucoma. Problems associated with the aqueous drainage can be treated surgically. There are many types of glaucoma, and it can often be asymptomatic. It's important to catch it early so you prevent damage to the optic nerve in order to preserve the visual field. Elevation in the intraocular pressure is a side effect of certain medications, some amphetamines and some antidepressants. There are two main theories: the vascular theory, which results from reduced blood flow to the optic nerve, which can in turn cause slow, painless, irreversible loss of peripheral visual fields, and mechanical theory, which results from the increase in intraocular pressure compressing the optic nerve head and actually damaging the nerve, which causes the loss of peripheral visual fields as well. In both cases, the disease is slow and painless, so really it's often not detected until there's severe loss, which is why getting your intraocular pressure measured annually is very important. The pupil is the dark circular hole in the center of the iris, which actually allows the light to enter the retina. The iris is the pigmented tissue that gives the color to the eye, so it's actually the colored circle surrounding the pupil. The iris changes the size of the pupil to allow different amounts of light to enter the eye, kind of like the aperture on a camera. The retina is the light-sensitive inner lining of the back of the eye and made up of photoreceptors called cones and rods. Cones are more centrally concentrated in the retina and provide a clarity of color, where rods are mostly associated with the periphery and detect light. Rays of light enter the eye and are focused on the retina by the cornea and the lens, and the retina produces an image which is actually sent along the optic nerve for the brain to interpret. Diabetic retinopathy is a disease associated with the retina and is the deterioration of small blood vessels in the retina. The damage to the blood vessels decreases the perfusion and nourishment of the retinal tissue, and 84% of blindness in diabetic patients experience diabetic retinopathy. The diabetic retinopathy and macular degeneration are the leading causes of blindness in the United States. The best treatment is control of blood sugar and a healthy controlled diet. There are laser surgical treatment options also available, but they tend to have unwanted side effects. The choroid is the area between the retina and the sclera. It contains many blood vessels, and they carry the blood supply for the eye. Another job the choroid has is supplying the oxygen to the outer layers of the retina. The sclera is the majority of the outer surface of everyone's eye that is white. It surrounds your iris and protects the eye. The sclera serves as a anchor point for the 4 extraocular rectus muscles, which act as a pulley to move your eyeball either inward or outward, upward or downward. The vitreous is the clear gelatinous body that fills the eye. It actually makes up about 2/3 of the eye's volume and weight. The vitreous is about 99% water, and in childhood it begins as a gel and over time liquefies in the sun. The optic nerve is located in the back of the eye. The optic nerve is made up of ganglionic cells or nerve cells. It consists of over 1 million nerve fibers, and the optic disc is our blind spot, which is caused by the absence of specialized photosensitive cells or the photoreceptors in the part of the retina where the optic nerve exits the eye. The millions of individual fibers in the optic nerve that act as a cable, to transmit information to the upper levels of the visual pathway in the brain. The suspensory ligament is a ring-like fibrous membrane connecting the ciliary body and the lens of the eye, holding the lens in place. The ciliary body is the middle layer of the wall of the eye. It has 3 functions: accommodation, aqueous humor production, and the resorption and maintenance of the lens. The ora serrata is the serrated junction between the retina and the ciliary body, and this junction marks the transition from simple non-photosensitive area of the retina to the complex multi-layered photosensitive region. Conjunctiva is a membrane that lines the inner surface of the eyelid and also covers the front part of the eye. Conjunctivus is the inflammation of the conjunctiva. The canal of Schlemm is a circular canal or channel in the eye that collects the aqueous humor from the anterior chamber and delivers it into the bloodstream through the anterior ciliary veins. The fovea centralis is in the eye, a tiny pit located in the macula of the retina that provides the clearest vision of all. The macula is a small area less than 1/4 of an inch in the center of the retina at the back of the eye, and it is responsible for the sharp, clear central vision and the ability to perceive color. Optic nerve hypoplasia is a congenital condition in which the optic nerve is underdeveloped. Usually the millions of fibers that are connecting the optic nerve to the eye are damaged during pregnancy and can result on a spectrum of visual impairments. Thank you for watching my video.